A dry suit is an expensive piece of equipment, and it's not too hard to maintain it, and today we're going to show you how to do that. First off, the gaskets on a dry suit, the latex gaskets, if your dry suit uses latex gaskets, are going to be the most fragile thing, and we really want to make sure that we're taking care of these guys. Inspecting them every once in a while, making sure that there's no tears or any signs of cracking happening, because that's a good indicator that your seals are on the way out. At that point, you know, you're on a limited time, and it would be worthwhile looking at replacing them. In order to preserve our latex seals on our suit, we're going to want to use a conditioner, ideally something that's going to be like a silicone-based lubricant here, and we're just going to apply this, depending how much you're using your suit, a couple times a year at a minimum. If you're using your suit often, especially in, you know, sandy or saltwater environments, I would definitely recommend using it a bit more. This is the Seal Saver Seal Conditioner by Gearaid. 303 is another good product that's been used for a lot of time and recommended by some manufacturers. If you have any questions, you know, certainly have a look at the manufacturer's site as far as what product is going to be best for their recommendations on their latex gaskets. The next critical thing on your dry suit is going to be the zipper. This is going to be a common failure point if it isn't looked after properly. So we want to make sure that we keep our zippers clean. If you're paddling in sandy environments or salt water, you know, making sure that they get rinsed thoroughly after every use, and then also maybe using a small brush, your roommate's toothbrush, for example, to clean out any grit or any buildup that gets into these zipper teeth, and then also lubricating them. If you find that that zipper is getting really tight to come across, or getting it into that last little kind of parking spot there gets a little tough, definitely a good recommendation to get some zipper lubricant on there. So a couple of great options from Gearaid is going to be the zipper lubricants. This one comes in like a chapstick tube, and it's great to just have in your PFD. So if you're out and you notice the zipper's getting a little tight, you can just apply it onto that zipper. Works fabulous. It helps protect the zipper, helps lubricate it, makes it last longer, all good things. This one here is like a liquid base, comes with a little brush. So this is a really good one to have at your at-home repair kit to, you know, maintain that zipper, you know, once or twice a year when you're going through this kind of maintenance stuff, you know, to give it a really good thorough cleaning and also lubricate it at the same time. How often do you need to lubricate the zipper on your dry suit? Well, that can depend. I would suggest at least at a minimum a couple times a year just to keep it, you know, working flawlessly. If you're using your dry suit day after day throughout the year, you're probably gonna want to do it more. Maybe, you know, you're doing dry suit maintenance once a month if you're out paddling a couple times a week inside of your dry suit. So check that out. This next thing is a little more important than you might think, and that's washing our dry suit. May seem like common knowledge to some, but we certainly want to make sure we're doing the right steps and using the right product to make sure that our dry suit is clean and working properly. And it's pretty simple. You want to make sure that you're using a good quality dry suit shampoo. The Gearaid here, this one's good for wetsuits and dry suits. There's a couple different methods. You can use a washing machine. Just make sure you're following the directions on how to do that. Ideally, you're going to put it in a mesh bag, throw it in the washing machine. I like to hand wash mine, just fill up the bathtub, use, you know, the directed amount of shampoo, hand wash, just, you know, scrub it all down, get all the grime and dirt out of it. Washing our dry suit not only keeps it clean and smelling nice, but also makes sure that it's performing at its best. The sweat and oils from our body can certainly start clogging up the pores in the membrane inside of the suit, and that's gonna lead to decreased performance and start to also, you know, make that feeling of being wet and damp inside of your dry suit. Even though it's not leaking, it can certainly lead to believing that you might have a leak inside of the suit when in fact you do not. So if your dry suit is particularly smelly, or your wetsuit for that matter, the odor eliminator from Gearaid is a fantastic use. You're going to use this after washing the dry suit. So again, just adding it to, you know, a tub with some water in it, letting it soak in there, brush it around, and this will help eliminate any of those odor enzymes that are building up inside the suit. So after we've washed our dry suit, we want to start adding our DWR, our durable water repellent, to help replenish that finish on there that we get like on a new suit when it's so shiny and new and the water beads up. If you notice that your suit just kind of absorbs water and isn't really repelling it like it did when it's brand new, definitely time for this stuff here. Super easy to apply. Just let it air dry. Don't put your dry suit into a dryer because you will wreck the gaskets on it. So just use air dry, follow directions on the bottle. This is the durable water repellent by Gearaid. Inevitably, if we're portaging through the bush with our dry suit on, we might snag it, we might trip on a rock, and if we do puncture a small hole in it, good to have a little bit of a repair kit. Super simple to do if you're out in the field. You know, just carrying some little patch kits with you, a Gore-Tex repair patch. These are just like a peel and stick. Clean the area, slap it on there, and it's gonna get you by until you can get it to a proper repair facility and somebody can, you know, really make sure that it is repaired. These will definitely get you by could last a year or two. So, you know, you can not lose any sleep over using one of these guys. There's Gore-Tex patches available. There's non-Gore-Tex patches available. Match them up with the style of suit you have and you're good to go. AquaSeal is another awesome piece of gear to have in your repair kit, you know, taking it out with you when you're on the water. This is one of those things that can fix a lot of things when you're in the field. Dry suits, skirts, wetsuits, you name it. This stuff is fantastic. It is really beneficial if you do manage to put a tear in your neck gasket or your wrist gasket. You can just kind of overlap it, put a bit of AquaSeal on there, seal it up, and it's gonna get you by until you're able to get that gasket properly repaired. And what do we do in the case that we tear a gasket? Well, it needs to be replaced. So we're gonna use AquaSeal. We're gonna cut out the old gasket and we're gonna glue a new gasket in. We're not gonna do a video on that. There's other videos out online that you can find how to do that. You can send them off to repair techs. If you need any questions on where to get your dry suit repaired, just give us a call or send us an email and we'll happily point you in the right direction. Dry suit gaskets, they are a consumable item. They're not gonna last forever. You know, generally, again, on usage, might get a couple years, you might get a bit more, you might get a bit less. They are very fragile, so this constant kind of stretching back and forth will eventually wear them out, especially without proper care. So you do want to make sure that you're keeping an eye on them and just knowing when the signs are showing up that it's time for replacement, and replace it before it fails on you out in the field. When do you need to seek professional repair? Well, gaskets are a good one. They're pretty easy to do at home. You don't need a lot of tools or special skills to be able to do it. A little bit of practice, some AquaSeal, and new latex gasket, and you can do that on your own at home. You can definitely seek out professional repair to replace the gaskets on you at a nominal fee. They're generally pretty reasonable. When do we know if we have a tear or if our dry suit has completely worn out? Well, inspecting the inside of it, looking at those taped seams, if they start falling apart, if the stitching has started to blow out, that's going to be a really good indicator that you're going to need professional repair, or it's going to be time to replace that dry suit. So with proper maintenance and care, you can keep your dry suit performing like new for years. We carry all these products online at FrontenacOutfitters.com. And if it is time to replace your suit, feel free to give us a call and we'll fit you, get you the proper dry suit that's going to match your paddling destination. Thanks a lot for watching.